Hey guys, just wanted to let you guys know about this guy does some awesome, gives some awesome knowledge to do with, uh, public versus private law, law versus statutes, and basically the truth with what's been going on behind, your birth certificate, etc. If you don't know about this, guys, this Bill Turner, I don't think that's his, don't know if that's his real name or not, but I'm pretty sure he's a New Zealander. Um, but he does some good stuff. Now, what is good for people in New Zealand, he quotes Acts, Statute Acts, particularly relevant to New Zealand, but, however, you can find the relevant, like, say, see this here, see, Passports Act 1992. Pretty much in every, country they'll have that, similar act, so you can glean the similar information from his videos. Now, what I would tell you too, he's got two different channels, both under the name Bill Turner, so that's one there. I think this one is more the up-to-date one, with that face there. He gets the Bill Turner from, I think, from Pirates of the Caribbean. But his other channel is this one here. I'll go through it because it's some really, just quickly, but if you're interested in, especially if you're in New Zealand, but, like I say, it applies worldwide. Basic principles of law, the Trinity, the law and you, the good thing about it is he also applies it to how law is, or the legal system, but then he applies it to the law, which is basically God's law, the law of things like the Bible, natural law. Okay, so basic principles of law, the Trinity. So he goes into, he links what's the legal system, the statutes, and what they say there to passages in the Bible, for instance. Okay, I declare I'm free. If you're just fresh out to this, new to this sort of information. And it's particularly relevant to New Zealand and Australia. Yeah, but like I say, there'll be whatever acts he says specifically for New Zealand. There'll be similar acts, around the world, states and etc. Breaking the invisible chains, tricks of the trade, Bill Court, it goes into the birth certificates there, born identity, because your identity, and that's what those movies were all about, the Jason Bourne, Bourne Supremacy, etc., like Bourne Supremacy, they're telling you that, you have a couple of birth certificates. Most countries you have at least a couple of different birth certificates. New Zealand here we have the we have at least 3 or 4, the printout. I know one's called the printout, but there's another one. Now, the printout is actually the one you sort of is more really relevant, because that's got the actual proofs that you're alive. But the birth certificate that the public side uses, the one that everybody gets, is basically the document, the certificate that they use to put you on their side into the public. And basically once that happens, you have to obey all their laws, their statutes, their acts. So it's like they're acting on your behalf, and all the statutes are acts, but they're not legitimate laws, like, God's laws, natural law. Their acts are just exactly that, they're acting. I think Bill actually says he went into court because he does, Mackenzie Friends for people, helps them. Went into court one day and the judge said to him, you know, what are you doing here? And he said, I'm a Mackenzie friend, and unlike everybody else here, I won't be acting. So he's got some good stuff, but you know, disclaimer, guys, you have to really research. I've been researching this material for years. There's a lot of, you know, you can get yourself in a whole lot of trouble if you don't do things correctly. That's why. But I have tested the waters. I've tested the waters. I've definitely tested the waters, and I know that it works. Okay, but you do have to be. If if there's one subject, I mean, all this truth stuff, you do have to do your research, obviously, but this is one, you know, the law, and that where you really have to go into the nitty gritty and get everything perfect. If you want to do things like, you know, get rid of your mortgage, and now I hear people crying out already, you know, well, we got a loan from the bank, you know. No, the bank actually loaned you nothing, no thing. It was your signature that created a loan, and that's one question in itself, and I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and about all this. That's why you need to do your own research, because when you went to the bank, you got a loan agreement, and so the first question you ask yourself is, well, where did the mortgage come from? Because you sign all the loan agreements, and then they give you a mortgage. Mortgage, what does mortgage mean? Mort means death, engage means grip. So once you've got a mortgage, it's a death grip. Okay, know your rights. So he's got two. I'm actually trying to get hold of him. He's a bit of a hard man to get hold of. I think he might be actually Australia. He's just done a conference in Australia apparently, and man, I'd love to go to one of those conferences. He explains things in a simple way, but he doesn't give you every little detail, because he wants you to do the research, you know, because it's a bit like, you know, instead of giving a man a fish, you know, teach him how to fish. Exactly that. And if you do your own research and that, you're less likely to stuff things up and, you know, just try and copy him, and then maybe when the judge or whatever, someone asks you a question, you might not know the answer because you weren't expecting that question, because you've never really done your own research. You've just got templates in your head. So it's better to really, you know, I don't even know if I'll ever get to the end of all this stuff, but I won't stop trying, because to me it's, you know, it's fascinating. You know, I'll be straight up. I don't totally. I mean, we're on this earth. The way I said is, we're on this earth, so you might as well look into stuff like this. But a part of me says, well, if I, you know, work all this stuff out and then do it legitimately, and part of me is saying, well, that's just playing into the hands. That's basically dancing with the devil. So. And a lot of people that have even figured this out, and then the system just still, you know, craps on them. So, you know, that's why I say do your research, because even if you've got it perfect and you've dotted all the I's and crossed the T's, they still might crap on you, okay? They might change the laws once you find out all this stuff. So, you know, be prepared for that. At the end of the day, what is more important is, I think, is having your foundation of knowing who you are, knowing that you're, you know, a spark of God, and you know, connected to source. I think that's more important than basically all of this, I would say, at the end of the day, because, you know, they can, you know, change the laws, change the acts, etc. They can't change the fact that you're, you know, you're part of the, you know, you're from source, from God, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so if you want to go over all this, this will catch you up if you're just new to all this. What's the law really about, and what's the difference between public and private, and especially if you're living in New Zealand and Australia, like I say. And like I say, I've tested the waters. Definitely works. So all about stamp duty, PPE, because in America you have, and also the UCC one that applies, everywhere. But if you really want to get it specific, in Australia and New Zealand it's the PPSR. I think that's New Zealand PPSR. I think Australia's PP. I'm not sure, something like PPSR. But yeah, who am I rebutting? Presumptions, because that's all it is. You go to court, they're just presuming. From day one, they're presuming. You open your letter, they're presuming you are the fictional character that's created by the public side of the birth certificate that is actually a bond, and they go from there. And if you don't rebut any of their presumptions, they just railroad over you for the rest of your life, making endless amounts of money every time they use your bond, your birth certificate bond, as a birth certificate as a, what do you call it, bond. Now hold on. So there's that. But I was just want to show you this one. So this is his other channel, and I'll show you, just quickly go through the videos he's got here. So, Trust No One is his latest one 3 days ago, which is, it was awesome. All this, it's just his information is fantastic, and I like how he, relates it, connects it, associates it with the real Lord, true law, links it to the Bible, etc. God save the Queen, over and under, sideways, correcting the record. Court, man in the mirror, say my name, my will, money, money, money. Debt collectors, judicial review, study material, all about affidavits, what the word demand is, mortgage disclosure, lawful versus legal, the living and the dead jurisdiction. Okay, I'll want to quickly go through this latest one, Trust No One. Quickly go through here. We'll turn the sound off. It's off. Okay. And I'll just quickly go through. It's worth going through some of it. So there, understand the system, public and private. On that side, you've got corporation statutes and codes, passports and license. On this side, you've got man or individual. You've got laws. You've got certificate identity. This video is about the certificate of identity. Okay, and Bill has just done a conference in Perth, Australia. I want him to do a conference in New Zealand here. This one's particularly for the certificate of identity, and he tells you, because everything on the public side is certificates, birth certificates over here. So they only a lot of their, they pay a lot of give a lot of authority to certificates, where the problem lies, where it identifies as the dead fiction from there, the birth certificate that everybody uses. Okay, now just sort of go through this quickly. We must now correct the record. We're called vessels, yes, we're 90% water or whatever it is, so as far as they're concerned, we're a vessel. Now, we must now register our vessel, our ship. Okay, so here's one of the first, this whole video basically is to get your certificate of identity, which will put you, basically turn you into it'll basically get you, once you've got your certificate of identity, you will be looked at as I don't like the word alien, but for what we're talking about here, you'll be looked at as living outside New Zealand. It's quite interesting. See now, the 3 acts that give you your identity, that you will use to create your certificate of identity. First one in New Zealand here, but in America there will definitely be a Flags, Emblems, Names Protection Act. And just what struck me is This is probably why flags are so important around the world. That's just sort of, I'm thinking about that now. Flags, emblems, and Names Protection Act, okay? So this here, this is what protects your name. This is how, guys, what Bill says is anybody can create a government, okay? So what you're basically doing with certificate of identity is you're creating your own government, and once you've created your own government, and see that title there, I think you could actually, because at the moment our birth certificate, on the public side, is a trust, and what you could, if you put a dot after that there, after that title, trust number 1, you could say that. So what you're doing here is you're giving, making the trust back into you, making yourself number 1. But that's just my own spin on that. Okay, back to this Flags, Emblems and Protection Act. You can create one, so for this identity, I'll show you at the end. Well, for this, creating this identity, your certificate of identity, you're creating with that. You making yourself a diplomat. You live in your own. Because they say whatever state you're born in, that's the country that you were born in. What Bill says is though that he was, it's dependent on what state you were born in, and it's just playing with words, guys, because he said, he was born in the state of nakedness. He was born in the state of maybe, that meaning of the word state. So the state of maybe purity, the state of high consciousness, because babies are probably more high consciousness than adults. So you could say that you're born in the state of high consciousness, etc. I know this gets pretty far out, but Bill has done it. I've tested a little bit. I haven't created my certificate of identity, but I can assure you I'm definitely going to. I found out a little bit so far, apart from this, but I'm also busy doing 54,000 other things. Flags, emblems, names, protection acts. So what you do is you get a flag. You can grab your own flag, whatever flag you want. Or you can be your an emblem. It can be a sign. It can be your coat of arms. We've actually got a coat of arms, so I'm going to probably stick that on my certificate. So that's one. This is one element of that enables you, protects you, so that you can be your own government. You can be what will take you, once you've got the certificate of identity, it'll put you on the private side, so that when, for instance, you do break a law that has no victim, such as parking ticket, you show them this, and they should leave you alone. The Bill said they should. Bill said he's tested it, and they leave him alone once they show it. Okay, so let's carry on. Now, yes, so the second one is second law that protects your ship registration act. So you're classed as a ship, you're a vessel. When you're born, you go and see the doctor. So as far as they're concerned, the birth certificate is your manifest certificate of manifestation. When you dock at the port, you docked at the port. Ship Registration Act 1992. Don't forget, this is in New Zealand, guys, but there'll definitely be a ship registration for America, etc. Says there. Okay, so the registration may disallow any name registered or blah blah blah, part of the registration, but the relevant one here, he said, is the name New Zealand without a prefix or suffix, unless the name is proposed to be used by the Crown. Now the sovereign, there's a song called, lyrics. I know I'm going all over the place, guys, but this is what I mean. You have to do research and study. Jester stole his thorny crown, and when we were born, our crown was taken. By the birth certificate that's on the public side. So basically, you register your ship. Now let's carry on here. Ship registration, flags authorized under prerogative, so under right. Now, you know, people think sovereign is them. Sovereign is not them, it's you. And you actually become the Governor General. Okay, so they're giving you an option here. You probably can't see it. Let's see if I can boost up the... let's at least put it on 720 here. Sorry about this, guys. I didn't think about this. Okay, so... this is all part of it to establish a new flag which may be flown by a particular New Zealand ship or any class of New Zealand ship, and that's what you know you are. You're a ship authorized for the purpose of by the sovereign. So you're not the sovereign, or the Governor General. You're going to be the Governor General of your own country. Okay, so you get your flag there. Designate any existing flag. Flag may be flown by a particular New Zealand ship or any class of New Zealand ship authorized for the purpose by the sovereign or the Governor General, and you will once you've got your identity certificate identity going you're your Governor General of your own country. Okay, and the third act that's relevant, and guys, there'll be obviously America, etc. will have a Passports Act. I know I'm going through this quickly, but you believe me, you won't be able to. Well, you might be able to, but I've been doing sort of studying this stuff for years, and well, a lot of people will focus on it, but I'm not a focuser. I like to be out there and taking on 50 things at the same time. Maybe to my detriment, whatever. That's just me. I've been like that for all my life. Because I'm like with sort of life, gets. Once knowledge really opens up to you, it becomes like you're a kid in the candy shop. It's just so much interesting information comes flying in from every angle. So the Passports Act. Just try to figure out. In this act, unless the context otherwise requires applicant, in relation to an application for New Zealand travel, means the person who will be the holder of the document of the application is granted certificate of identity, means a document issued by the government of any country. Now he'll tell us now just government of any country. Okay, now if you look up the legal meaning of country, it says just whatever state you were born in. And then going back to that, you were born in the state of being naked, you're born in the state of being high consciousness, you're born in the state of purity, you're born in the state of so by that basically what that's saying is issued by the government. Another way of looking at it, see that? Issued by the government of any country. I think, but don't quote me on this. Just pick a country. Pick a country that you would or make your own one up or whatever. Probably don't make one up. I'm not clear about that, but you're making your own country. Okay, state of you could say state of awareness or state of focus, whatever. So there you go, Passports Act. Certificate of identity issued by the government of any country. Now let's put that away, and I'll just move up a bit. I'm going through this quickly, guys. You really have to look into this. Country, here it is. Look, by country is meant the state of which one is a member. Okay. Every man's country is in general the state in which he happens to have been born. You might have been born into the state of having a silver spoon in your mouth. You might have been born into the state of being poor. See? So it's whatever state in which you happen to have been born. So you could say that you were born a state of all-knowingness, or state of unawareness, or state of what's going on here, or state of how did I get here, or I think you get the picture. Let's carry on. Because Bill's actually got a okay, certificate of identity. Go carefully over the ship registration slide and decide what flag, emblem, or crest you are going to use. Okay. Check out what the private company uses to identify you, and copy that. So you can do that if you want. Like your car license or whatever. You can copy that. You will need a photo, a flag, and a barcode. Okay. Now here's Bill. That's Bill. Oh, I don't know if it's, I think it's, so here's your certificate of identity. Here's what it should look like, okay? See, diplomatic. Now in New Zealand here, so your name is, your real name is just your Christian names, okay? And of course, yes, the name is linked to the Christian name, because in the Bible, Jesus said, only through me you can get to the Father, or whatever. And that's your Christian name. Okay, title, so Consul General, so there you go, you're the Governor General of your own country, sending state, so the state that sent you to your country presumably was your surname. Now you put your date of birth, you put your birth, deaths, and marriages number, which should be on your birth certificate somewhere, and you also, in New Zealand here, that's Australia, so he must have got his done in Australia. But in New Zealand here, that means Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. So obviously you have to let them know that you're creating a certificate of identity. Maybe this is the part. This is where I'm up to. I've just looked into it, and Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade deals with it in Australia, but in New Zealand here it's the Internal Affairs and Department of Internal Affairs, so you have to presumably let them know, or it's going to be an either or for me. I'll probably have to do both. Let them know that I'm creating a certificate of identity, or fill out their form of a certificate of identity. Now, if you note under here, it says issued under the law of the United Kingdom of New Zealand. See, so that's his he must have felt that he was born in the state of the United Kingdom of New Zealand. So there you go. And that's his flag. But guys, you can have your family crest there. You can have an emblem there. You could have a happy face there, I suppose. Now also here, this is you can't see it clearly there, but what you want to do to create this, okay guys, what you do is you get a registered letter, okay? You take off the barcode of the registered letter. Let me see if I can go through this. See if I can find it. Okay, let's take off the barcode of the registered letter. Then you send the registered letter to yourself, okay? And because once you've done that, it's put into the universal post office, okay? It's registered, and they cannot, they know it's illegal for them to intercept your mail, okay? It's got the process here, so you need a barcode, get a registered letter, registered envelope, take off the barcode, stick and send this, put it on here, send this certificate of identity to yourself, okay? He's got the process here. Let's have a look. Okay, here's the process. Get a registered mail envelope and remove barcode to place on identity card. Okay. Let's move along. Post identity card to yourself in the registered mail envelope. Your identity card is now registered with the Universal Postal Union. Okay. Tampering with the mail is a serious offence for them, not for you. You're doing it all correctly. Do your own research. Do not trust the so-called gurus who give you their own theories and never show you the statute which entraps you. Okay? So like me, I'm going to have to just try a few different things, but I'll be starting with this. You know, and this looks like basically the process of actually, you know, creating your own government, becoming a diplomatic status. Now, there's a lot to. I think, guys, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, I haven't looked into it, but I think once you actually, I mean, it's got many benefits as well. I think one of the benefits is once you reach this diplomatic status, your own government, you will not have to pay tax. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I might be wrong on that. If someone knows exactly about that, you could leave it in the comments. But this is my next project. I'll be creating one of these as soon as I can. Hopefully that was helpful. But guys, please do your research. This is for entertainment purposes only. Be careful and don't go diving in without doing any research and you know, doing the nitty gritty, doing the hard yards, doing things in depth, and take your time. You know, if you're meant to do this, you're meant to do it, and you. One way or the other, you'll do it, whether it's today or tomorrow or not at all. At least you're on the path.